What a beautiful night. What possibilities await? Something is out there. What is it? What does it want? What are you going to do about it? What did you say? What is it? What? Something is out there. Something is out there and waiting. What is it? What does it want? What are you going to do about it? What a beautiful night. Good evening and welcome to the show. My name is Marina Gomez, and for those just tuning in, we are currently at the 1 hour mark for the city's 10th annual March in the Stars Marathon. It's been a grueling race for all those participating this year, partially because marathons are long and treacherous, but also because our beloved mayor, Darian, has decided to spice things up this year by including booby traps and other obstacles for runners to overcome along the way. Participants have had to run uphill, downhill, over walls, and through multiple different traps that have been expertly set up. It's hard, but the runners are determined as ever to get through. So far, we have hit the 1 hour mark, and there has yet to be any strong leads or finishers. But this is to be expected. Marathons are long. And also, there's a lot of added challenges along the way to make it even longer. Darian really put his whole garbage bear heart into making this as hard as he possibly could. So stop by if you're in the area. Cheer the racers on, or maybe even say hello to us if you see our tents. Mike and I are set up in our own little booth along the trail to offer step-by-step commentary, as well as water and snacks and occasional medical attention to all passers-by. So far, we've only had a couple of runners head up our way, but hey, it's still early, so stay tuned. There is a pretty big line at the crab pit, so we'll see. In the meantime, let's take a look at the news. Things are happening at the Wisteria Institute. Despite the recent break-in, the Institute seems to be pretty calm. In fact, they're moving forward with their expansion into the city. They have just unveiled their newest building in town, which they are calling the Projection Room. What that means, or what the purpose of the giant glowing radio tower looking thing atop the new building is unclear. All we do know is that the building is huge and is supposedly going to connect to realities beyond our own in a way to bring forth a singularity, or whatever that means. It's all completely theoretical now, as they have not started whatever they're going to do there yet. Oh, and also you should note that this is built on top of the remains of what was once the Waffle House. So, do with that what you will. I'm not allowed to make an official political statement on the matter, but you know. In more important news, it appears that we are experiencing temporal disturbances all across the city. Citizens are reporting shifting realities, memories and places suddenly appearing, and even whole lives being completely rewritten over and over again within a few seconds. Science experts are currently investigating and assure all of us that it's going to be fine. It's just a couple of little hiccups here and there. You know, not like an entire person from a past you want to forget suddenly popping back into your life, reminding you about all of the things that you hate about yourself and have tried to distance since you first came to the city. It's fine. It's fine. You went to therapy, and that makes it fine. Just be sure that you remember which reality is yours and try to stick to the plot as best as you can. What are you doing? What are you? What's going on? As long as you know what is what, there shouldn't be anything to worry about that. So don't worry at all. I doubt these disturbances are even real. And even if they are, scientists are already working on fixing it. So why worry at all? It's fine. Everything's fine. Fine. Chaotic courses of company compile across crossing and country corner. The rambunctious rampage rippling around the road is rousing up rivers of rowdy riders. Terrible traffic takes a tickling toll on time to all trying to traverse today. Caution and care are crucial components to all commuters carrying amidst crazy conditions. There's a lot of people on the road right now, so expect delays. Maybe consider walking or taking a train where you can. And this is traffic. This just in, the runners have cleared the pitfall. It took a lot of work and a lot of fallen runners to get out of that massive pit that Mayor Darian spent most of last week digging. But they did it. The marathon continues as the runners begin their ascent up the lava rock wall, over the ropes course, and to the challenge log, which is a long log over a large pit where combatants will have to fight one singular person who stands as the guardian, else risk falling into a large pit covered with very adorable but insanely fragile old dogs. So best of luck to you all. In the meantime, there's a poem for me. Did you find this one, Mike? Mike, did you... Well, he must have stepped away for the moment. He's really not supposed to be doing that. But it's fine. I'll just tell him to be better at his job later. In the meantime, let's take a look at this poem. Turn from the light that once held you close. Come here and answer the call. Let go of everything you once loved most. Come to the door and come to fall. The shadows are calling and you cannot hide. Your curiosity is too strong. So come and give in to desires inside.
Turn from the light of the siren's song. Let go of the hand of the one that you love. He can't help you anymore. Let go of the world and the light thereof. All that matters now is here at the door. Turn from the light of the world that you know. Come join the side where the shadows grow. What the? Light just went out and now here I am engulfed in an endless black. You know, it's kind of funny. I can't really see anything, but I can feel eyes watching me everywhere. I sense them watching me, moving in the dark. I'm not sure what they want, but it doesn't feel good. Who's there? Don't touch me! No. I am a radio host. I am the radio host, okay? I am a C-tier radio celebrity. You cannot touch me. I am important. I know I am. The city just doesn't choose anyone to be the radio host. They chose me. And I am not letting you take that away, okay? No more dead radio host. Not me. Not anyone else. Not after what you did to Marina. Not after what I saw that night. I don't care how scary you think you are. I will endure. And I will make it because I made a promise to her. Right before the fire, right before she...
I'm telling you, Mike, you can't just bump the equipment and think it's going to be fine. This is how things get broken. Wait, what the? Did you feel that? I don't know. It's like things got real stilted for a minute there. You know? It's like I was here, but also not. And also probably, it's nothing. We're probably fine. And look, we're back on the air. So that means you get to keep your job for another week, Michael. Don't mess it up again. Anyways, why don't we take a look at the race?
The racers are coming in hot and sweaty, folks. This is turning into one heck of a marathon. There isn't even a top finisher yet, but here we have some strong contenders that are making it around the final bend. First of all, there's Tokiko Nori. You know, the lady that runs that gym on Rainbow and Sparrow. Super nice lady. Has just the right workout classes that will really set you on fire. Like, that girl is constantly blazing. I burn up every single time I walk through those doors. And crawling up not that far behind her and looking to pass is station legend Gary Gibson. Oh, we all love Gary. He's known around the station for his role on Jazz Corner as well as his legendary love of hot dogs. A couple years ago, Gary was having some health problems pop up. Nothing too major, but enough to give Gary a wake-up call to get himself in shape. He switched to low-sodium dogs, started working out on the reg, and really taking care of himself overall. This is his 5th marathon he's run this year, and if he keeps up this pace, he's poised to pass Tokiko and win it all. I hope he sees it because that will make it his 3rd consecutive win. So best of luck to you, Gary, you old so-and-so. You were old enough to be my grandpa, and yet you could kick my butt any day. So you keep trucking along, and that amazing heart health of you and inspiring zest of life will pass on to the rest of us. Hopefully. Jeez, Gare, I wish I could be half as lively as you are. You know, some days he tries to get me out to go running with him. He'll be in the office like, "Come on, Bella, it's good for your health, young lady. Come on, I know your parents are fine with you slouching about, but you should get into shape more." He means it in the most loving ways, and I absolutely love him for it. Ooh. And of course, we have a dark horse coming in right behind Gary and gaining fast. Oh dang, you know him, you love him, and of course I am talking about the producer of our late night talk radio program, Jack Wright Stevens. He's joined here today by his beautiful husband and co-host of our late night program, Sammy Wright Stevens. Now, Sammy isn't running this race because, frankly, the man isn't super athletic or buff, but he is here cheering on his beautiful husband, Jack, all the same. And I gotta tell you, folks, we love to see the spousal support here. Their wedding was beautiful. Rex cried so much, and we all had a lovely, wonderful time. And now here we are, cheering on Jack as he completes his first marathon. It's so exciting. It's so amazing. I'm glad that we were all able to be here.
It's dark out here, but I'm not sure what you'd expect. It's been almost a year since the sun vanished. It's been almost a year since contact with the outside world was cut. The only signs of life here in our small, isolated town are the flickering lights that we foolishly try to keep running. As much as I love everyone, I'd be lying if I said there was anything here worth looking at. We've done our best to get by in this lightless prison, We work the fields, keep the power plant running, try to mimic normal life, but who are we trying to fool? It's been a long time since we've seen the outside world. It's been a long time since we've seen the sun. What was it like? What did the sky look like when we had that big, bright ball over our heads? Blue? Cloudy? Something more than the constant black and stormy cracks that rattle around these days. You know, sometimes I like to go sit on the sand ridges out on the edge of town and imagine the sun. I lie back on the hot sand and close my eyes, picturing a bright warmth from above. When I can get a little extra focus, I swear I can almost feel the warmth tingle my skin. It's so much better than the heat lamps we've adapted to. But it's not real. None of it is. And I wish I could hold on to that little feeling a little bit longer, but it always fades a lot faster than I would have liked. It never stays. Nothing does. How did we get here? I think it started when the Institute started messing with the doorstep. Then someone started messing around with the void.
Sorry everyone. I'm not sure what's going on with my equipment, but I feel like something's getting bumped. Also, does the sky look different? Like, it was pretty clear tonight, but now it's like a different color. I don't know. Maybe I'm just losing my mind, but I think we're okay. Nothing too weird so far, right? Just lovely city people doing lovely city people things. Speaking of which, there's a marathon going on, and runners are making their way through the ropes course and into the lazy river swim section. Don't worry, there's a lifeguard on duty to make sure that nobody drowns. Exciting stuff. And also exciting is this weather report that I have for all of you.
Yeesh, what a weird weather freakout. Nothing to worry about though. We're just getting into March and you know what the weather's like. Sometimes mild, sometimes wild, always a child. We do the best we can. You know, I could probably ask why that is. I could do some research, maybe go dig a little deeper to find out why March has such weird weather, but it's not really my thing, you know? I'm not really the type to go snooping where I don't need to. Like, that's a lot of work, and sometimes it's just better to let some things be and not ask too many questions, you know? Anyways, despite the messy weather, there is a marathon going on, and it is going pretty strong. It has been about 2 hours, and we have some finalists making it into the big stretch. Mayor Dante Morningstar is eagerly awaiting the runners at the finish line. He has glow sticks and confetti cannons, so you know it's going to be great. You know, I love how our mayor really shows up for the people of this town. It feels good to have a mayor that you can know personally, who just loves and supports every single one of his citizens to the best of his ability. I mean, just look at his foster child, Jeremy Johnson, who is the sheriff of our fine city. Such a kind soul and such a lovely guy who has done so much outreach in the last year with his dear sweet friends, Olivia Hawthorne, who runs the local charities, and our station's very own Bella Jewel Mallory, who will be leaving here shortly to go take care of her family's hotel business. Man, what a time. What a lovely time. You know, this race has been really fun, My only complaint is that I so wish I could have gone out there today and joined. Sports are like my favorite thing in the entire world, especially running. You know, I used to do track back in high school, and my parents were so proud of me because despite all the odds and all the difficulties, I managed to do a decent job. There's nothing I love more than being out there and putting in the miles, but alas, somebody has to man the broadcast station, so here I am. Oh well, maybe there's next year. Maybe I can talk my boss into taking over and manning the booth so I can run the marathon. I don't know, what do you folks think? Radio sensation Karen Adams covering a marathon? I mean, maybe, if we can tear her away from her loving husband Rex for long enough. I'll tell you, those two are crazy about each other. Maybe I could get our morning show producer to do it. You know, Sammy's a pretty nice guy. A little chatty, a little clever. But he's always mentally stuck in the year 2020, though. Maybe I could make it work. I mean, most of our equipment is kind of old. If I just set the clocks to 2020 and put on the right YouTube videos, we could just pretend that everything's fine without another freakout. You know, and then I could run the race and everything would be fine. It could be good. I mean, anything's better than the last time he freaked out. You remember the 4th of July picnic? It's burnt into my mind. He never did stop screaming for his beloved fiancé Jack. Anyways, it's ad time. So stay tuned, folks. We'll be back after we pay some bills.
Stare at the face, looking back in the mirror. Wipe away the dust to see something clearer. Blurry faces in front of your eyes. Something familiar you can't quite recognize. Put on an old song you haven't heard for years. Remember the moments of laughter and cheers. Old recordings that don't sound like me. The ghosts of people I used to be. Who do you be when it's all gone? What do you do when everything feels wrong? When you're no longer the person you were? Where do you go with the pieces of her?
Good evening. Our big story tonight is surrounding the disappearance of the local town, King Falls, this past week. Secluded up in the mountains along Route 72, this charming mountain town was once a staple for all paranormal enthusiasts traveling to the Pacific Northwest. Over the past 5 years, King Falls had been known for several anomalies and occurrences that can only be described as supernatural or paranormal. Sources documented the town's history of UFO sightings, robot fights, and strange creatures that appear only to be seen in shadows. Historically, these incidents have been chalked up to local legend and exaggeration. However, things have changed after the events of December 15th set everything in motion. It first began with strange reportings of lights emanating from Perdition Woods. The local campground was often said to be haunted and cursed, being at the center of a few disappearances and the discovery of a body a few years prior. Witnesses report that the strange glowing lights escaped from the woods, referencing some sort of devil's doorstep being opened. What this meant for the people of King Falls at the time was unknown, as events continued to unfurl. The next few weeks would leave this usually quiet mountain town swarmed with events that can best be described as horrific. Buildings were destroyed, several sightings of cryptic creatures attacking the town were reported, and so many innocent people vanished without a trace. Finally, this led to the first of the events that set in motion last week: the destruction of the local radio station, King Falls AM. Seemingly in a desperate attempt to stop the destruction of the town, local radio host Sammy Stevens sent a desperate message onto the airwaves. Whether to distract some greater entity or to call forth some lost loved one is unknown. All we do know is that Stevens made an impassioned cry to someone by the name of Jack. Stevens begged this Jack to stop the violence and let go of the shadows. Listeners at the time report Stevens pouring his heart out in a passionate love confession and an apology for years of failures and shortcomings. This moment was short-lived, however, for as Stevens made his remarks, a large storm of black shadows enveloped the building, and everything was vaporized in an instant. From there, the shadows descended like a tidal wave upon the rest of the town of King Falls, leaving nothing more than a gaping hole where a town once sat. The current whereabouts of Stevens and the rest of King Falls is unknown. Hopefully more can be discovered soon, but for now, this mystery boggles us all. Truly a tragedy to begin the year. However, with luck, the rest of 2020 will only go up from here. Reporting live from the studio,
Sandra Botticelli.
Hello? Are we back? Yeah, the light's on, so there we go. So sorry about that little static noise disturbance, everyone. One of the runners tripped into one of Darian's secret catapults and subsequently got launched through the air and onto our soundboard. Don't worry, everything is okay now. Mostly. There's a few cuts and bruises and dented wires, but that's to be expected. After all, we are running a marathon right now. It's sort of expected for there to be at least a few battle scars. The first few runners, speaking of which, have crossed the finish line now. We have Alessia Gillespie in first, followed quickly by Jasper Hideaway, which is great to see. Jasper's been training super hard to build on Zer's technique after having to take a year off due to injury. It's the comeback you want to see. Behind them are a pack of a few more haggard faces, tired, a little burnt, covered in raccoon scratches, but still very satisfied with the ordeal they've managed to overcome. Indeed, it's been quite the marathon this year. On top of all of Darian's extra obstacles, there was apparently an explosion at one of the Wisteria Institute's development centers, specifically the one that used to be the old Waffle House. I don't know the exact details of what happened since things got a little weird for a minute there during the broadcast, but whatever it was big, and it involved a lot of blinky lights. So now the place is swarming with dark vans marked with the Institute's branding, and apparently they've captured some sort of perpetrator and are carting him away. It's a rather tall-looking man with curly dark hair and glasses. Huh. Kinda looks like Jack, but sleep-deprived and bleeding black goo out of his eyes and nose. Not sure what any of that's about, but hey, experts are assuring me that it's just a bunch of science stuff and that the temporal fluctuations, or whatever it is, are starting to level out. At least for now. So, do with that what you will. As for me, well, time is an endless stream, and we are all just drifting on the lazy river that it is. Try to splash, try to fight, but it all goes the same way eventually. So stay safe out there. Keep an eye on the timeline around you. Things are still wibbly-wobbly and all over the place. And yet, despite it all, one thing is perfectly clear. It's a good night out, so let's make the most of it.
Dream Girl City is a production by N.J. Schulze. It was written, acted, and produced by N.J. Schulze. The poems featured for today were Turn from the Lights and Questions, both by N.J. Schulze. If you like supporting us, check out all of our social medias, spread the word of wherever you get your podcasts, and rate and review us wherever you hear us online. We grow by word of mouth, so everything you do helps us to expand our message further and helps me feel like I am spending my time in good places, because I am very eepy right now, but I am doing my best to put forth the best work that I can. Thank you so much to everyone for supporting us and for constantly being by our side. There's a lot of interesting things coming in the future, so stay tuned. And until next time, remember, people will scream when you remember it's not 2015.